Hello, everybody. We're back. Hopefully, we have fixed the technical difficulties where it was strange, where you guys on Facebook could see us both and both talking, and I couldn't see or hear anything. So here we are. We are Dave Fanale and Ronnie George back with Real Estate Talk TGIF. And so, Ronnie, talk to me about the foundation of real estate agents and their business and everything else.
Can you hear me, first of all?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
It's a magical day. All right. For me, I want to touch on exactly what you said previously. It's all about leveraging what you can use for free or actual low cost. Now, I have my little one over here, so he might scream, so just a heads up on that. I like to use social media a lot. I do 100% of my advertising on Facebook. I don't use Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, or Google. I will be branching into those soon because I've perfected the Facebook stuff. So return on your investment, all day Facebook. That's where all the eyes are. And then leveraging your sphere in a more creative way. You know, you just have to leverage what's free, essentially. So that's what I would say as far as building your business up as a solo agent. That would be my kind of advice on that.
So building your base up and your sphere of influence, the whole thing. But if they were going to do, okay, so you know a lot of people will buy Zillow ads, or they'll make cold calls, or they'll door knock. People tell them to do that. What do you think is the best way and the quickest way for a new agent or any agent to get business? Like, for instance, I made a challenge with some newer agents at the company I'm with, and I asked them one thing real quick. I said, gun to your head, could you get a piece of business, a buyer's contract, by the end of the month because your life depended on it? The first answer I got was no, and I was really surprised. So if an agent wanted to get a piece of business in the next 2 weeks, what do you say is the best way for them to get it?
I would do two different things. One, I would go towards the people that you already know want to sell. So go right after for sale by owners and expireds. That's going to be your number one thing to go right after. You know, the second thing is I would become an expert in a target area that you want to focus on. Essentially, focus on a subdivision or an area and become the expert. Know every and everything about it, like any and everything. Square footages, who's the main listing agent in the area, who's the agent bringing in the most buyers, how long are the houses sitting on the market,
right?
What plans are available. Literally know everything. So then that way, when you're knocking doors in that neighborhood or knocking around that for sale by owner or knocking the neighbors beside new listings, you're able to instantly quote, oh, well, yours is a Cape Cod style with 3,200 square feet. The last one that sold was 2 years ago. Yours should price at this. It all depends on your upgrades, of course. If you have a moment, I can show you exactly what your home is worth. Boom. Right. They instantly, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. If you speak knowledge and you know your facts, that's going to boost your confidence, because that's why people are not confident, is because they don't know their scripts and they don't know their resources.
Yeah, one thing I want to really talk about, not a lot, but I always try to hit. People talk about scripts and dialogues. They talk about how important they are. And I agree they're so important. But I'm not looking for anyone to memorize several sentences and say the same thing. Don't you agree? They got to assimilate it into their attitude and their personality, rather than just repeating words they read on a paper, right?
I think scripts are essentially a baseline. If you don't have a flow of conversation and you're prepared for objections, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Because the majority of the people, like if I called you and I was like, hey, Dave, your buddy, like if you were a for sale by owner or you were a neighbor who was thinking of selling, and I got a friend of mine that said, hey, Dave might be thinking of selling because I've asked him, and I'm giving you a call. And I'm like, hey, Dave, John gave me your number. What would your immediate thing be? You'd be like, you know, I just sold his property. You'd probably like, I'm not interested, right? Right. So then if I don't have the scripts and objection handlers to keep moving forward with that, then I'm going to be like, okay, sorry to waste your time. Done. But my response, you'd be like, I'm not interested. I'd be like, hey, man, I totally understand. Why would you be interested? You know, you don't know me. I don't know you. That's exactly why I'm calling you. Matter of fact, John, when I first met him, he wasn't interested either, but I just sold his house for $10,000 over. So can you give me 5 minutes of your time? And I want to show you exactly how I sold his house and actually made him more money than any other agent could. You see how I overcame that?
Right.
If you don't know your scripts and objection handlers, you're going to get shut down before you ever get in the door. So that's why I feel that scripts are powerful, but you need to know the baseline and then make them your own.
That's right. And first, the way to get there is to practice them, even if you got to practice by yourself. And I tell people, you got nobody to practice. talk to the wall, literally talk to the wall, and then also record yourself and then the videotape yourself. And as you keep doing it, you're going to assimilate. I always think it's really pretty funny when I've been working on stuff and reading stuff, and all of a sudden I'm talking to someone, maybe a new agent or a customer and stuff, and all of a sudden something comes out of my mouth that I said, wow, I knew something, right? But that's from practice, you know. That's from really thinking about what's going to work. Ronnie, talk to me about, about a year ago you started your own business, right? You started your own brokerage. Is that about a year?
Yeah, I ran solo with it all of I don't know, most of 17. I started at the beginning of 17, but I just started deciding to hire agents right in December of 17, and then literally started pushing hard, hiring agents January of 2018.
Now, your point of going solo with it in the beginning, what was your reason for that? Just to get your own baseline of stuff?
Cost low. I just wanted to keep the cost low. It was literally just me being an agent, but just being a broker operating under my name. I was operating from my house, selling real estate, getting it going, and I wanted to see if it was even doable, and so I pushed back to it. That was my main reason. I just kept my expenses low, and I just sold like crazy. That was the goal.
Now, I honestly, I think, you and I known each other for a few years, and I've seen where you've come from and where you are now. I mean, you've grown you did that solo. You've grown a nice business. You've got what, 18 agents now?
It's up there.
Yeah, because you had made a post the other day, 18, you got 2 to go, because you wanted to make 20 the limit, the number, right?
Yeah, I literally got like 2 or 3 messages after that saying, hey, hold my spot, I'm coming. So I'm like, boom, I just need to see them follow through with it, and I'm there.
Right. Are you starting with mostly newer agents or experienced?
It was one experienced agent who had experience with a previous company, so they came over, and then it was a handful of brand new agents, but they all had some kind of sales experience. And then a few. It's been a combination of people that were in the industry a couple years, and then a couple people that were relatively new. So it's been a mix.
For those of you that don't know Ronnie is like the engine that doesn't stop. He keeps moving forward, and he's got one gear, and it's high. But the most important thing I can say about Ronnie, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got this engine that moves forward and it keeps going. And it's at a level. I mean, I don't, and from my standpoint, from my vantage point, I don't see too high or too low, but I see steadiness, and I see that what that has done is, as you've gotten business, your confidence has grown, your competence grew before that, and you went out and just did it. And basically, in my opinion, it's stuff that we've learned from our mutual great friend Grant Wise in do the work. And everything else comes. Would you agree with that? Tell me if I'm wrong or right here.
No, I would agree with you. I mean, there's still a lot I don't know. I'm figuring stuff out and constantly changing as I'm growing the business. But I think what it was is I was confident in my own abilities, and I knew what I was capable of. What was holding me back was I kept judging myself against others in my area of what they were performing at. And if I saw that their business was going up and down, I was like, well, then my business would go up and down. And that's what was wrong. I constantly was judging who I was based upon their performance. And I wasn't taking into account my growth was year over year consistently up. So I'm like, I need to quit, putting myself against their metrics and believe in myself more and just double down on it. So then that's where I just kept feeding in my own progress and just kept okay, I am doing this. I am doing well with this, and just going so on and so forth.
Well, it's, I love watching your posts and stuff, and you did lunch the other day, lunch with Ronnie. I guess you wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
What I love seeing this stuff, because honestly, someday I'm going to steal that and use that. I know Lauren did it once. Our mutual friend Lauren Taylor did that. And I know Grant's into some other stuff, but first of all, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're really busy. The technical difficulties took an extra 15 minutes away from me. I understand that, and I appreciate your time. If there's one last thing you'd like to say, or the most important thing to any real estate agent or starting a real estate agent, what would it be? What would be the most important thing, a piece of advice you could give them?
One word: focus. Focus. Don't spend all your money on everywhere else. Focus on sales and bringing in money. You don't need the latest gadgets and gizmos and all these things that are going to make you look good. What you need is sales. Everything else can be built after. You have to be bringing the money in. And if you're not selling properties, you're not going to be in business. I had to learn that the hard way because I would get so distracted with wanting to do all these cool things, and then sales would slip. I'm like, I need to get back focused. So I would say focus on where the people are, where the listings are, bring in the business, grow your business. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time, but just keep focusing on the sales.
Yeah, I mean that's such an important word. I always say that there's two things that most real estate agents do not have. Number one is focus, and we can call that another word discipline or self-discipline, and the other is organization.
Yeah.
I know it's been my biggest problem in my entire career, where I have finally have focused, and I'm going to excel in everything I do because of the focus. Ronnie, thanks again for coming on. I hope to see you real soon. Mr. Patilli and I have threatened and told each other we're going to threaten you now. We'll come down and see you and spend a couple of days with you, and make sure we all work really hard. But we're
promises. Come on, we'll hang out.
So we talked about the other day. We both couldn't get you. We said we're going to go down there. We'll hog tie.
We need to come to y'all since y'all are both up there. So, I mean, that would be easier.
If you want to, fine, come on up. We'll do that real soon. But we'll be in touch. Ronnie, again, thanks so much, and God bless and best to you and your family.
Thanks, brother. You as well. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. Thanks. Bye.